Hey guys, my name is Sean and I'm a houseplant enthusiast from Jakarta, Indonesia. I'm here in Kunming in Yunnan, and that's in China, at a tropical plant exposition.
You are now watching episode 2, Non-Aroid Plants. This includes begonias, desert plants, bromeliads, hoyas, and more. In episode 1, we toured spectacular aroids, and in next week's episode 3, we get to see China's #1 trending plant, the platycerium. Don't forget to catch all 3 episodes to get the full picture of China's thriving ornamental plant industry. Before we begin, in the last episode, I forgot to leave my thoughts on aroids in China. So here's a quick recap and some potentially useful insights. Please note that these are personal opinions and observations not verified by the industry, so take everything with a grain of salt. And feel free to chip in your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let's begin. The Monstera. Now, many fantastic mutations were actually discovered in China lately. This includes the Monstera devil, yes, it does indeed originate from China, the Bulbasaur, and the yellow pom-pom. These represent some of the most sought-after variegated Monstera varieties in the world today. Now, when it comes to anthuriums, China has not produced famous or internationally acclaimed hybrids, but China is very good at improving existing breeds through selective breeding. They're also the best mass producers of anthuriums, with no country coming in second. Now, let's talk about philodendron. Correct me if I'm wrong, but most philodendron hybrids were created in Thailand, but China is on the forefront of production by TC and discovering cool mutations including variegations and dwarf forms. Surprisingly, the philodendron is not a very sought-after aroid genre in China compared to the Western world. Keep in mind that China has only entered the aroid industry after COVID. Their development is considered fast, and TC from China is currently threatening to shatter the global supply chain. Although it is my personal opinion that while this threat is very real, it is a little bit overhyped. And here's my general thought on China's plant market that nobody asked for. Now, the Chinese growers and vendors that I talked to, they face very tough competition, with scaling up production and economy of scale as the only way to win the market. This means that production gets larger and larger and facilities increase in size. This displaces competition and prevents smaller businesses from establishing. This leaves the industry now in the hands of a handful of large producers. A very large population of consumer has also come into middle class. Combine that with the availability of high-quality ornamental plants at very low prices, this is the perfect catalyst for a boom. I observed that the attendees were thrilled to see the plants and took lots of pictures. Some of them asked basic plant care questions to the vendors, as if they'd never cared for a plant before. I believe that for growers and businesses in China to succeed, plant care education in a fun and engaging way is the way to go. Alright, let's get on with the tour. This is actually the second day and we're walking towards the hall, and there's a store in the front with this beautiful succulent display. And actually, if you come to Yunnan in Kunming, you'll see some old towns that actually have a lot of these succulent displays. So these guys actually thrive here, they do really well, and they're actually very inexpensive and easy to care for. And a lot of commercial spaces have them. This is really, really beautiful. Look at this clump, and this is some kind of kalanchoe with extremely fuzzy leaves. This is super adorable. And then this is probably an aeonium, some sedums, and this one here, this is really pretty. Look at that. With that pot, the pairing is just perfect. This is really big. Something is in bloom here. I have a feeling this might be a weed, but it is a beautiful weed. Yeah, and that foxtail cactus, and this one's about to come into bloom. So this is really starting to make my day. Yunnan truly is a place for plant lovers. And that one too, that's massive clump of succulent. It's amazing. So yeah, we're gonna continue down the hall. Ladies and gentlemen, actually we haven't covered peperomia in a while in the channel. The turboensis is one I really adore. It's easy to grow, it's super beautiful, and voila, this is the variegated one. So far they've only discovered 2 variegated leaves, but it is not impossible to cut them back and see if they can produce more and more variegation out of this. And of course back there, that's the devil. A lot of people already are growing them up to a larger size. And the devil monstera originated here in China, and then it was made popular in Thailand and given that name. This is the begonia butterfly wings variegated.
Let me check the price again. It is 4,500. I actually had a look earlier, but my mind is so blank now. 4,500 for this plant. Beautiful. Look at that leaf. This is actually very, very stunning. And I love that they're different. On this one, it's heavier on this underside, and that one leaf is beautiful too. Gorgeous begonia. My gosh, Irene would have a ball with this actually.
Variegated begonia iron cross. Oh my god.
This is also 4,500. Look how beautiful this is. This is actually a very common begonia, but it's variegated. Stunning. I think that one looks a little bit more like the more common one that we know. You guys might be familiar with some of these. I know that they're really big in the US. Maybe aroid is like the number one. Hoya might be the number two. Comment down below when you watch this video to see if Hoyas are still popular in the US and also in Eastern Europe, if I'm not wrong. And this is one of those booths. If you see 130 RMB, 150, this is about 60. Just to give you a full, just to give you a rough idea of what the pricing. And they actually do write down the names in English, so that's really cool. This one, it says Hoya Akuda Silver, Hoya Akuda Variegated White. It's my first time seeing this. 15 RMB, this is really inexpensive. I would really love to smuggle this one back. Oh my gosh, I don't have that one yet. It's so lovely to see Hoya booth here. Honestly, I'm rooting for them because Hoyas are truly, truly wonderful to grow. And they make really good cuttings to share with people. They flower beautifully and surprisingly. They can take indoors and outdoors conditions. So I'm really happy to see them grown here in China and rooting for them to succeed here. I believe this one is the Hoya caudata. It's 130 RMB. I think it's from Aceh region in Indonesia, but I could be wrong. The right species will be on the street. Beautiful, actually. They've got this army look on it. There's a lot that are actually new to me. This has this Meng Lai pink. I guess Meng Lai is a species and pink is the flower color. This one says Hoya Treasure Moon. And that probably means that this is a hybrid. If it's got a funky name like that. And it's nice to see a Hoya hybrid starting to come in. They're actually not that easy to breed, but some breeders have been having some success. This is a Hoya booth. Now, I'm not sure the name in English. It's only in Chinese, but this is some kind of, I don't know, silver colored Hoya, and it's 400 RMB. It's quite beautiful, this one. I've not seen it like this. I'm pretty sure this is a Wyedia. It's the first time I'm seeing the splash of this, but this is a joy to grow and to propagate. Now, this wall here is pretty cool. I'm pretty sure this is a variety of the Carnosa. I could be very wrong. The Carnosa is known to mutate, so there's many forms for the leaves. This is very similar to the crinkle aid. I love how bullate the leaves are. This is actually very, very beautiful. And in case you're curious, this is what the flowers look like. There's another one over there. Yeah, this is looking to me like it's a Carnosa. And these are like a whole wall of Hoya Carnosa compacta, Hindu ropes. Sorry. It's interesting that people are coming to a Hoya booth and they're actually shopping for platyceriums. They just go to show that platyceriums are super popular here. But these guys used to be very popular back then. And I think this might be one with a dark form. If you see the new emergent is almost black. So I still love my Hoyas, but a lot of you guys have moved on from the Hoyas. This one is beautifully flowering. Look at that, it's flowering in a row. Now this is a difficult Hoya to care for. I still struggle with mine. This is an interesting Hoya with very fuzzy leaves, and the flower looks like this. I don't know the name of this. It's in Chinese, but this is 60 RMB. Are a palm producer. And by the way, as we film here, we'll notice people just walking in front of us. It's just way too crowded. I mean, people are not rude or anything. It's just impossible to get around. So sometimes you'll see people walking by the frame. It's just Chinese culture and people are pretty cool about it. But this is a very interesting palm that's variegated. And then there's so many beautiful shapes and forms here. Now, I'm not very good with palms. I don't know many of their names, but this one here, actually do have the name, Arenga hookeriana. This is 128 RMB for the green form. And this one here is beautiful. It's got wonderful emergent leaves that probably fades into this color. Look at that. It's super small, and I really love this growth here. It looks a little bit like an aloe. It looks a little bit like a palm with the fan-shaped leaves. I don't know if this gets big, but something tells me that this is one that might stay dwarf. Well, you look at this pachypodium. This is so beautiful. Look at the form, and there's a central trunk. And the central trunk branched out beautifully. This is such an interesting form. And actually, Anders from Nongnu just told me that this is related to the plumeria, and you can concur. just by looking at the leaves with the growth, that it is probably distantly related. This is really fascinating to me because this is a euphorbia flower, but it does grow kind of like the desert, the adeniums, or even like a pachypodium. This is really, really fascinating, very whimsical. Some Euphorbia obesas. These are 288 RMB each. So these are the larger form, and that's the smaller juvenile form. It took 2 years to get to this size. That's really cool. So it's explaining that that's 2 years old and this is 3 years old, and they're asking for spare tips. So people are still curious about these plants and learning from the vendors. Fascinating. There's some beautiful aloe hybrids. Now, a lot of these I think we've seen before around, but this one is particularly new to me. And I feel like these ones have a very Chinese type sensibilities. I mean, the coloration, super adorable. And that one here is beautiful too, with that pink edges around it. Really, really gorgeous. I've not seen anything like these before. This is super interesting to me. This looks like a kalanchoe, but it's like super, super chubby. I have a feeling these are a hybrid or a select breed. Really, really cute. I love this kind of fuzzy kalanchoe, but this one is particularly cute. It looks like little paws of like animals, like a Pokemon. These are more aloe hybrids. And when you buy them, it's usually this size, but when you get them to mature up, look at that. They actually get bigger and they clump really beautifully, and they actually do flower quite nicely. This one's not in bloom yet, but they can flower quite nicely. Love, love aloe. They're actually super easy to care for. I'm getting a bit more confidence in growing these. They're actually not that hard to grow. It is worth noting that Yunnan province is one of the largest producer of fresh flower in Asia. Particularly, there's a plant market in Kunming called Tonan Plant Market. So if you ever come to Kunming, I urge you to check it out. But a lot of these plants are not only grown in large numbers, but they're incredibly cheap too. And there are a few kokodamas and some in pots. This is an ant plant. That's pretty amazing. It's pretty cool to see if they can come into tissue culture. And this one that look like eyelashes, little ferns. I could spend all day here. And these guys are very suitable for terrarium as well. That's also very beautiful. Now this terrace is pretty common, although I've never seen one with wide form leaves like this. So this is really cool. This is actually a very common plant with a lot of implication for landscaping, but also they do quite well indoors for me. This is really interesting. This is a Microsorum thailandicum, but look at how wide the form is. Normally we have this really long, narrow leaves. So it'd be interesting to see these develop maybe wider and wider over time. That's really cool. Someone bought all that up, ready to take them to go. I mean, if you look around you, I'm just randomly pointing, look at all the shopping bags around here. And we're still on the first day before lunchtime. So things are happening. Beautiful crested fern, oh my gosh. And well, here, look at these baby calatheas. They're just coming in from tissue culture. That is the black lipstick. Look at that, it's amazing. And I believe this is the calathea, and it says Freddy over here. It's so cute to see the baby plants. And this plug here, this is 5 RMB per plug. I know they're no longer popular, but let's give these calatheas a minute. These guys look so amazing. Can you imagine these on a green wall? I mean, they would be very difficult to care for, but they look just so beautiful in an assortment like this. And a bunch more over here, and there's some Sarracenia, and I really love that lady's outfit. That's really cool. There's some Sarracenia here, and the display here is just wonderful. Look at that. That one is flowering. How cute is that? And for a lot of you who don't know, this is actually a carnivorous plant, and these guys would actually do really well in the Yunnan climate here. These are carnivorous plants, and I really, really love the packaging. Look at how beautiful that looks. And the panties, some picture plants, and some Venus flytraps. This store is adorable. It's basically plushie toys with plants. to highlight here, this is a georgiananthus that is variegated. I might have talked about this in a previous video, but these are not easy to grow. They have really gorgeous red underside and just really stunning when they variegate. So this is really, really something that I adore, but it might be a challenge to grow. Oh my gosh, really look at this. This is obviously some kind of banana and it's putting off this offshoot. I don't see any leaves and look at the flowers here. This is incredibly cute. My gosh, I love this. Now with bananas, a lot of them, the flowers tend to be pendulent. But this is pretty cool. It's like saying, here, take me. Another one behind, it's a little bit taller, but it's probably as tall as your knee. So this here is a plant-like company, and obviously we'll focus more on the display. It's really, really quite beautiful. Because I'm ever curious to know what plants do well in vertical gardens, I would say this is a very good representation. Like Ephelandra scorosa, I've seen them a lot in vertical gardens, Syngoniums, ferns. I'm surprised with the Calathea. This is actually pretty hard to grow on a vertically, but ferns, it's actually really, really quite beautiful. Something to get inspired by. Look at this here is their standard piece. And they are selling light, but I guess the display is as important as the light itself. Really, really quite well put together. I saw people struggle to put this up yesterday. Look at this orchid here. It's actually very beautiful. A lot of bromeliads. It's actually very, very well done. These are really beautiful as well. Look at how architectural that is. I don't know the names of these. If you're a bromeliad enthusiast, feel free to say the name of this page. We did have an episode filmed in the Philippines at Venado Tropical. Feel free to check that episode out. Bromeliads are really, really heavily underused in gardenscape and in collections. Amongst the plants, this one is the most expensive and rare. It does look extremely nefarious, and I really like that look. It does have that Tillandsia form, but it does look like a last boss's lair or some sort. That is also quite beautiful. So they said that they do work with Thailand a lot to import and export bromeliads. I love filming bromeliads. They look so nice on all angles. You can get eye level to them, or you can get above them. They look really, really beautiful. They really add a pop of color. And imagine the growth pattern of this. So it's basically growing upwards towards the sky, and that's a new growth. And I'm a big fan of plants that grow well, that has a nice growth pattern, and this one does. Imagine like that's another leaf that's trying to come up. So it's gonna go up, 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 up until it flowers. I found some variegated begonia here. Now what's interesting about this begonia is that it looks like streams of light coming in through the leaves, streams of light hitting the leaves with some light, but this is not. In fact, begonia is variegated. You see the variegated, but it's actually quite beautiful. I like the combination of color here. They look like something that's sparkling. Oh wow, look at this. This is so beautiful. It's some kind of fern. I don't know if this is naturally like this or if it's a select. I have a feeling it's probably a select species. A select meaning that it's been bred with spores and the mutation was discovered, because I don't think nature produced something like this. Now this here is the Selaginella. We actually featured this. This is common, I believe, in the Philippines. So it is actually a little bit pricey. It's 580 RMB. I'm just curious to see how they managed to grow it like this. I think it might be expensive because it is almost like a tree form. If you see the roots is like going into the ground, supporting its weight. But as you know, most Selaginellas are actually clamberers. They clamber on the ground. So this is interesting to see. Oh my gosh, this is the prettiest Selaginella I've seen. Look at this. It's so beautiful. Now it does miss, it's missing this color that makes Selaginella beautiful. It's usually got this bluish pinkish color, but this is so wonderfully crusted. It's beautiful. Really, really, really quite exquisite. It looks like a sculpture. It's just coming off from that one dainty stem. This is so fascinating. Wow. And this is also a pretty fascinating fern. It does remind me of an Amorphophallus, the way that it's grown, because it's grown from a single stem coming up and spreading out like this. Really, really quite pretty. I love this.
Thank you so much for watching this all the way to the very end. Stay tuned next week to see some amazing platyceriums and see if you feel inspired or challenged to grow some. In case you missed last week's episode 1, we toured some amazing aroids. In fact, I might even recommend for you to look through my channel catalog to see if there are any past videos you might have missed. Should you wish to contribute financially to the channel, for as small as a cup of coffee a month, you may do so on Patreon at patreon.com/SeanFromOnlyPlants, or you may join as a YouTube member. Simply click on the join button next to my channel icon. Now I want to thank those of you who have contributed so far. You're helping my mission to educate and inspire growers worldwide. On your way out, I ask that you hit the like button, comment something down below, even if it's just an emoji. This is so that we can win the YouTube algorithm together. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!